What's up, everyone? My name is Trevor, and welcome to the Shieldme podcast. This is the third installment. I apologize that it has come so late. A couple of things did happen, and I really hate to be making excuses this early into the life of the podcast. But in essence, I recorded episode 3 with a friend of mine called Baker, and it went great. It sounded great. We talked about some great things. And once I had finished recording, I found out that his side of the podcast had not correctly recorded. So, kind of some goals moving forward. Obviously, increasing the stability and redundancy of my recording techniques, because my side was recorded just fine, and his, unfortunately, through Skype was not recorded all that well. So, obviously, I'm going to fix that so that doesn't happen in the future again. But soon after that, I was like, okay, well, I don't want to make him re-record the same exact podcast with me again. We talked for a solid hour and a half, and it was great. I think he had a great time. And I did too, but I did get sick right after that. I'm still a little bit sick, as you may or may not be able to hear. And, well, I just haven't really been able to record. I've been in bed, for the past 2 days, and then before that, my throat was destroying me, so I just couldn't talk. And even now, I'm far too I don't want to say nasally, but far too congested to be doing anything super long form. So I just wanted to record this as a little update, just do kind of like a mini episode, I guess you could say. So over the past, I almost want to say it's been like a week and a half to 2 weeks or so. I have been playing, I kind of fell off of H1Z1 a little bit, but Beggar, as he was explaining, had been playing quite a bit. So we talked a lot about Dawnbreak and what they were doing with H1Z1. They did split the games apart. So instead of H1Z1 having a survival mode and a battle royale mode, they now have 2 separate games. One being Just Survive is the name of it, and the other being King of the Kill. A little play on words with King of the Hill there, obviously. And so those are the 2 games we have now. If you want to buy both of them, you have to buy them separately, and they each cost the price that the game before costed for both modes. So, a little bit of an outcry from, the typical subreddit people about cash grab and all that stuff. Other things that happened, they are each apparently getting a dedicated team from the studio, so that means hopefully more consistent updates for both of them, rather than kind of, an update here that focuses on Battle Royale, or update here that focuses on survival, content-wise, or having an update that vastly affects the balance in one game mode when they were really trying to balance something in another game mode. So hopefully less of that, hopefully more just kind of moving forward and steady progress. That's obviously the dream. We're not exactly sure if that's going to happen, but that remains to be seen. What else? A game called Stardew Valley came out. Came out of early access, I should say. It was in early access for a while, I think, but was officially launched and is very promising, actually. I've been streaming a little bit of it. I've been streaming a little bit more. So I've never played Harvest Moon, Rune Factory, or Animal Crossing, but I'm told it's kind of similar to those games. So basically, I always have wanted to play Harvest Moon in games like that. So I was really happy to jump onto this and finally experience something along those lines. Basically, it's kind of like a top-down 2D game. I don't know if that's considered 2D, honestly, but it's top-down. You play this little character, kind of like an 8-bit thing going on there, but the art style is really, really well done. The animations are very well done, and so it's very pleasing to play. Actually controlling the character is very fun. If I had to make one complaint, I would say that you do feel a little bit slow character-wise, but that just could be me. It could just be because you have so much screen real estate, so it takes a while to get from point A to point B, compared to when you're playing on Game Boy screens, and you got across the screen pretty quickly. But either way, it's a very fun game. You basically just farm. You do a lot of farming, and you can kind of have social interactions with the people in the town. There's like just under 30 people in the town. And the developer, it was developed by one person over 4 years, and he claims that he's actually going to be even making more content. So I think it costs, it's either $15 or $20. But people are saying that the main story is like 40 hours, and I've got to say that I've already sunk probably like 3 to 5 hours into it, and I've got a ways to go. So I am really, really happy with it. It's kind of like a more... it's like a relaxing, laid-back game. The music is cute. It's happy. It's cheerful. There's weather, so sometimes it rains. Not quite as cheerful when it rains, but it makes a nice contrast so that when it does rain and then you get to the next day and it's sunny, it feels really great. It just feels great. So you have your different seasons, and you kind of plan out what crops you're going to plant, and every day. That you sleep, you regain energy, so you can go out into your field and kind of clear trees and rocks, and you have skills and stuff. And it's just a really good game. I'm having a lot of fun with it because of kind of the money aspect, gaining money from farming. It's really low stress. There aren't any like fees that you have to pay or anything. If your character gets too tired and collapses, you do actually end up having to pay a fee for being treated at the hospital or the doctor's clinic in the village. But besides that, there's really not any fees that I've ran into yet. So it's pretty fun. It's a lot of fun. So there's that. I've also been playing a little bit of Counter-Strike here and there off and on. Have not been really playing as much H1Z1. Beggar, who I'm hopefully going to have on again so we can try again with the podcast. I would like to actually formally apologize to him, because it's unfortunate that we had such a good podcast and it wasn't able to come to fruition. But hopefully, I'll be a little more on my feet tech-wise for the next time we record. I think I'm actually going to have Michael on for the next podcast, and then Beggar is going to be on after that. And then I've got a couple of other people that are showing some interest, so I'm actually going to sit down with them and ask them if they seriously want to be on the podcast, and we can have a couple more people on. And maybe in the future actually have a little bit more than 1 or 2 hosts on. Maybe have three or 4 hosts on. That would be a lot of fun, I think. But I do want to nail down and at least have me and one other regular host at the very least, and then maybe have guests on in addition to that. So it's been pretty light gaming-wise. More than anything else, which I'm not going to discuss here, but I've been watching a lot of anime. I've been sick in bed, obviously, so kind of anime is one of the things I typically go to. But besides that, I've been kind of looking at Far Cry Primal footage, and it's I think it's kind of a matter of personal preference and taste, because I've really enjoyed the Far Cry games, Far Cry 2, 3, and 4. In fact, I'm thinking about loading up Far Cry 4 again and doing another playthrough, because the gunplay in that game is just so satisfying. That's why I like the Far Cry games, because it's a really good shooter game. It's really satisfying shooting those guns and getting a sniper rifle and zooming in and getting nice shots off. And then, messing around with the C4 and the explosives. And it's a lot of fun. It's a good time. And I haven't really thought of Far Cry Primal as being the experience that I want out of a Far Cry game. It is a different game, and it does probably have its merits, but I'm hearing a lot of negative things performance-wise about it. And, it's a $60 title, so I don't really go around buying $60 titles that easily, as I've mentioned in the past. So I'm probably going to hold off on Far Cry Primal and then see kind of what people think of it. But it doesn't really look like my cup of tea, just because it's a lot of javelin and bow and arrow stuff, which is fun to a certain extent. I just don't see myself being able to pour all that much time into it. The pet system looks kind of cool, but once again, I'm not sure. We'll see. The Division beta is... I'm not sure what's going on with the Division. I think, did it officially release? I think they were doing like an open beta, and I haven't tried it. What else? The Overwatch developers at Blizzard are discussing how they're trying to figure out matchmaking, so that's kind of a big topic of discussion. They have a YouTube video out about it that I was watching yesterday, and while I haven't really played much Overwatch, it does seem like they're taking it very, very seriously, and they want it to be a game that is both accessible to people who aren't very experienced with first-person shooters, and something that pros and hardcore players that take gaming very seriously and very competitively can kind of jump into and have a good time with. Excuse me. So, kind of things happening with Overwatch. Also, actually, now hold on just a second. What time is it? I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it's 2 a.m. for me right now. That means that the DLC patch for Xbox One and PC on Black Ops 3 should be out, which means I have a new zombie map to play right now. If they've delivered this early, I'm not sure if they're doing it right away or not, but there is the new map. Is it Der Eisendrache, something like that, that's been out for about a month on the PS4, should now be live, if not now, in a couple hours, or later today, on March 2nd. It should be live, so I'll probably be playing a lot of that. I actually have been playing a little bit of Black Ops Zombies, but it's been a lot of the giant map. I'm just trying to get better at zombies and kind of training zombies, so to speak, moving around the map in ways as to avoid zombies without having to panic shoot everything all the time. I got to round 40 as shown on my YouTube channel, but that's mostly because they added some new perks. They added what was it called? It's called Death Something. It's where you get the minigun and you just destroy zombies with it for like 10 or 15 seconds. I got to round 40 on the Giant. I want to get farther than that because I know I'm capable of it. I just keep dying to stupid things. So, so having fun with Black Ops 3 Zombies, and probably actually after I finish recording this, going to jump on Steam and see if that DLC is live on PC. I am actually planning on finishing Dark Souls 1 because I know Dark Souls 3 is coming out soon, so I really do need to finish up Dark Souls 1 and then purchase Dark Souls 2, finish that, and then be ready for Dark Souls 3 when it comes out. I know a lot of people didn't seem to like Dark Souls 2, but I think that was I was hearing that from people that were really into the PvP scene, and that was really never my thing. I came along a little late for that, I think, even. So I actually just really enjoyed playing through the story. And while I'm not very good at it, it's still a very, very immersive and deep game that I've been able to get lost in, which these days is pretty rare for me. So I'm actually on the last... I think I'm on the last boss in Dark Souls, but I think I haven't killed all of the bosses. I think there's like one or two I should go back and kill first. That game is kind of difficult because they don't really tell you anything, so you have to do your fair share of internet research if you don't want to wander around the map aimlessly for hours on end, which, some people find enjoyable. So I'm not going to discount that. It's part of the game. Yeah, I'm trying to think of what else I plan on playing or I have been playing. I did download, I used a website. I'm sorry, I'll include it in the description, but I did use a website. What it does is it shows all of the top rated games in your Steam library in kind of a list. Actually, it shows all of your Steam games, but it allows you to sort them by Steam ratings as well as Metascore, which you can already sort by Metascore in your library, and not everything is scored by them, so it kind of makes it difficult. Whereas Steam rating is actually kind of reliable, or at least I've found it to be reliable. So you can sort, it's a web page, and it imports your Steam library when you connect your Steam account to the site, and basically you get to see what all the highest Steam rated games are in your library. So that caused me to download about 5 to 10 games out of my almost 400 game library, which is getting a little bit out of hand at this point. And so I have yet to play those. I think one of them is Contrast, which I remember seeing some YouTubers playing, and there are a couple others on there that escape my mind right now, but I'll definitely be trying those out in the coming weeks here. And as well as that, I wanted to really make the podcast more of a priority. I really want to get to a point where I'm releasing at least weekly. 2 a week would be great. I don't know if that's too much for people. I guess I'd probably actually release shorter episodes if that were the case, but at least once a week, kind of on the dot. So this is going to be the one for next week. I think this weekend I might record one with Michael for next week, and then probably over the same weekend I'll record one with Beggar, hopefully, if he's down for it, and if I'm feeling better, voice-wise and sinus-wise. But yeah, I think that's about it. I've been having a lot of fun with this Stardew Valley game. It's kind of the game of choice right now for me. It's kind of my main squeeze, as it were. I did get a 144 hertz monitor, so Counter-Strike has been something I've been putting a little bit of time into. It really is quite a difference, I have to say. I bought the Asus one. I don't know the exact model name, but it's like VGH something. It's the $250 one on Amazon and Newegg, and it really does deliver. I mean, 144 hertz is no joke, and when you enable light boost at 120 hertz, it actually does look. It's like CRT levels of missing. How do I say this? There's like almost no motion blur. It's very, very, very spot on and on point. It almost makes the game feel like, at least Counter-Strike and other games that are very twitchy, it makes them feel like pay to win, which I really hesitate to say, but I think it really does give you an upper hand against people who are playing on 60 hertz, because you can check corners quickly and register in your peripheral vision what's happening, because the image there is so much clearer when you're moving your mouse quickly. At 60 hertz, when you're moving your mouse around quickly, there is a lot of blur going on. There's a lot of stuff that's not really happening, regardless of the frame rate you're running at. At 144 hertz or 120 hertz with light boost, you are seeing everything so clearly. It's pretty crazy. But I think that's about it from me. Been enjoying the 144 hertz monitor. Been enjoying Stardew Valley, which I think is like a 30 FPS game or something, which is kind of funny. But we'll talk. I'll talk more about the DLC for Black Ops and my experience with Stardew Valley, and I'll have Bigger come on and talk to us about the differences and what kind of happened after the H1Z1 split. So. I hope you guys all enjoyed this short little podcast. I just wanted to bring you guys something and explain why I haven't had a podcast come out recently. There will be more coming. I promise you that. Hope you guys all enjoyed, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.